you've been wanting to launch an idea and you're like, I don't know what to do.
Order filled.
Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Elijah, Yiji, SE, Brumo, Wish, Main Account, Swiss, Sampath. Good morning, everybody. This is looking like a solid market maker sell model, I'm not gonna lie. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to take a look here. Alrighty. Order fills. Oh shit, you guys didn't hear that? uh, you know? Well, there you go. I didn't know you guys could hear that. Can you guys hear this?
Order filled. Order order filled.
Yo guys, we're getting in. We're getting in.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Oh damn, guys! I just lost bro. I just lost all my funded accounts. Fuck. I think I'm gonna have to get off, bro. Oh shit. Oh man, I can't believe you guys could hear that. Oh, that's embarrassing. Oh. All right, let me just double check what time we got news at, because I don't want to get caught off guard. We got news at 8:30 and 10. Beauty. So at 9 a.m. we're most likely gonna find a trade here. I'm not gonna lie. Who's ready to full port? Yo, what's up, Doug? Ethan currently shorting EU to the 4-hour low right above the fair value. Yeah, would you take a look? Yes, I'll take a look for you really quickly. Let's take a quick look. Actually, what's the futures contract for EU again? I think it was like 6E1 or something. This one right here. Ooh. I'm gonna have to take a look at DXY really quickly though. DXY looking bullish or bearish? We're still inside this balance price range that I've been paying attention to, and it looks like we're supporting from it. I just don't like how we support from it, and then we made this new balance price range, and then we're like kind of just trading under it. So that's what I don't like as of right now. So this is what I would be on the lookout for if you're in that EU trade. Is DXY. What is DXY trying to do here, right? If we end up going for all that low resistance liquidity on the highs for DXY, then 100% I think your short on EU is more than valid. Right, and then we can start looking at this as a rejection block potentially for a new dealing range to start, meaning that this is our dealing range right now. If we're going lower, I would prefer to see some sort of displacement to that 50% level right here, some sort of displacement here, preferably it's bearish, and then look for lower prices. Bitcoin, oh, I love this Bitcoin going to the moon. I'm pretty sure it actually is going to the moon. So, you know, our moon bag's about to be pumped up. As I was telling you guys, or actually those are in Discord, telling you guys this fair value gap, right? Once we invert that, I'm looking for higher prices. Then we have this final objective right here, fair value gap right here. Once we're able to invert that, then all-time highs is in sight, baby. How do I decide where to draw my dealing ranges from? I just draw it to the most recent leg. So like if you look in price, where's the most recent leg, right? Well, right now the most recent leg is this low to this high. So I can just draw my dealing range like this potentially. And so now I can look, okay, well, if we're going back in discount, then this fair value gap is in discount, for example. So it's just low to high, essentially. All right, I gotta get back to futures, see what's going on, because I saw it start trading lower. Let's start on the daily chart, see what's going on. Daily chart is still looking extremely solid. I'm not gonna lie, I am leaning bearish just because February 23rd was that IPTA 20 cast forward. So that's where I'm expecting some sort of high to form, if it's going to form. So if we go back to the 15 minutes, take a look at our right, using what's called quarterly theory, and we're going to be dissecting from top down our weekly quarters. What's going on here? And so I'm leaning pretty bullish right now, to be honest. And the reason I would say leaning, actually wait, let me take a look. I need to make sure. Yeah, I'd be leaning bullish right now because we do have a SMT divergence right here. This is something to look out for. This SMT divergence right there. And so if we're looking in terms of that for the weekly quarter, then that means we're paying attention to the most recent order flow right now, which would be this fair value gap for NQ, because I specifically trade NQ usually. And so if we're looking at this SMT divergence, I would like to see this fair value gap hold, dropping down to 5 minute, because this is an hourly, right? This is an hourly chart. Looking for SMT divergence within this higher time frame PD array. If we get that, then I am more than happy to look for a trade. It does look like a nice market maker sell though, so but in terms of higher time frame context, it does look bullish. So I'm gonna stick to the higher time frame narrative until we have some sort of invalidation. Yes, we actually have a SMT on these highs right here, but this would be for a micro session of quarterly theory. When you're diving to the 1 minute, then you would just be dissecting the session's quarter into quarters of its own, and we have SMT on the highs right here, which is why you'll see on ES that's a turtle soup setup, right? This is your turtle soup right here because it's SMT. Turtle soup for your entry. Once we get a market structure shift, you can start looking for your shorts, for example. Not telling you guys this is a setup, but this could have been a good trade because you have SMT, turtle soup, market structure shift, looking for that 2022 model right here. We already have SMT in 5 minutes. Yes, on this low right here. Right here, this low, this is another SMT. And so here I would... Alright, let me just organize my indicator. Yeah, it's looking pretty bullish actually. I feel like we're leaning bullish here, I'm not gonna lie. This displacement, I might have to fade it. One thing I do want to note is to be careful as of right now. Price can be a little choppier just because we are in Q1 of the year. So, you know, news in 1 minute. Yes, sir. See what happens. And at the 15-minute chart, this is looking really good, actually. On NQ, I see these equal highs as a potential draw on liquidity, and then there's these equal lows as a draw on liquidity. So right now we're in between both of these. We're just gonna wait a little bit and see what price wants to give us, because we're in between equal highs and equal lows at the same time. So if this is SMT, this would be your turtle soup right here. Do you suggest to wait, usually take liquidity at one side and then target the other? Yeah, that's generally a easier way to spot your drawn liquidity, because like right now I can frame a trade for bullish and bearish, so I just wait until it's very one-sided and I'll execute on that. Right, looking good so far. Inside this 5-minute unicorn. Once again, not something I'm looking to trade because it's not inside of our trading window, right? Just looking to trade between 7:30 and 10:30. And for majority of you guys, I'm looking to trade 9 to 10:30 actually. So with news at 8:30, I'm more interested in 9 to 10:30. What is this line over here? Oh, SMT, right? Yes, so if equal high is previous day high, we can always look to frame market maker sell from that. Right now I'm kind of just taking into account how NQ has already drove all the way down here, right? With drove price all the way down here in relation to ES, and we can keep an eye on this. That low. Oh. Right. They all occur at the same time, but they're not being rated at the same time. And so we can look at this as an SMT divergence. Another thing I want to pay attention to, the true open, which is sessions true open. We are below it right now, which is why I'm leaning a little more bullish.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Yo, that's too funny. Signal plus FOMOing for real.
Order filled.
That looks really solid actually. Getting that retracement from -2, -2.5, and then we could be reaching for these equal highs. Solid. Once again, this is an hourly gap, right, that we're paying attention to. And so we would use our 5-minute price action to dissect that essentially. I feel like putting my chart like this orientation is not that great. I'm just gonna change it back to the other one. YMES. Potential 5-minute market maker buy model from here. Yes, that's what I'm looking at as of right now. Just because with that SMT on the lows, we actually have I don't know if this is a thing, but I just call it stacked SMTs, where it's like we have SMT on the higher time frame here, and then we have now SMT on the lower time frame. So I just call it stacked SMT. That's a real thing. You know, once again, that's just what I call it. And when we have that happen, it's higher probability, right? So I'm paying attention to these fair value gaps right here. If we're starting to like disrespect these, then we can look for bullish price action. Okay, on the 15-minute, we're in that balanced price range right now. Okay, paying attention to 1 minute within this 15-minute balanced price range, you can start looking for some sort of price action to see if it's being disrespected. So if we're paying attention to immediate order flow, another thing I want to show you guys is that we have another SMT on the lows right here, right on the 1 minute. So that's like triple stacked SMT, you know what I'm saying? Stacking SMTs on SMTs, you know what I'm saying? So good so far. And that would make this a breaker. So this right here is your unicorn model right here. Okay, that's your unicorn model. That's what you want to see respected as of right now. A closure below this would make me feel uneasy about that unicorn, and then I'm just gonna wait how else we react. And this is that 15-minute array. I'm gonna take a look at the middle line right here. Right, that's the midline that we can pay attention to as well. See how price is reacting to it. Hey yo, LC, we're not supposed to talk about that. I was thinking about missing a setup if I wait till 9 a.m. With this good price action. Do you have any of that? LC, yes. I don't think you'll find it on Twitter, but it's something I'm not supposed to talk about. Oh, we got leakers in the chat. Get them out. Get them out. Mods, where you at? Get them out. Kidding. You're chilling. um. Yeah, I said yes, LC. That is it. So once again, paying attention to this higher time frame PD array. How is our relative lower time frame reacting to this PD array? Well, we want to pay attention to this midpoint. Pay attention to the candle bodies. What are we doing? I'm also paying attention to the quadrants. So right here would be the upper quarter of the fair value gap right here. That line, that would be splitting this half into another half. So that'd be a quarter. So we're paying attention to the quadrants as well. And so as of right now, because this unicorn has been respected already, I'm looking at this down close candle to support price higher if we're going to go higher. So I'm paying attention to this right now. This is on the 1 minute, and then this up here, this other box is on the 15-minute. Go back out and take a look at what ES and NQ are doing. NQ is going lower, and ES is also holding. So right now we're just waiting. We're getting another SMT with YM in a bit here. You're already funny sauce. DXY is also bullish. That is a good sign. Oh, I inverted my DXY back. That's a good sign for overall. Looks pretty good. If DXY is bullish, then we're probably going for this low resistance liquidity run. It's gonna make NQ have high resistance liquidity run if we're going for higher prices. Trading one last time into that unicorn. Once again, this down close candle is what I'm paying attention to. This is pretty much like last line of defense. Gotta get ready for the orders, you know what I'm saying?
Order filled.
Oh, oops. Where's a unicorn? This be this high right here. That would be a unicorn model, and it's because we have SMT on the lows here. So this SMT validates that unicorn down here. So this hourly candle is going to close in 15 minutes. Kind of just waiting right now. This gap right here, expecting it to be a breakaway gap if this RDRB is going to hold price. If anyone took a trade, this is where you would move your stop to break even. Also, I'm sorry if I'm a little quiet. I'm just managing my trade on a secondary monitor. Past this high, we're gonna want to see some sort of acceleration. Yeah, I took a long from this low right here. This low right here. Took a long. Stop loss. I put it somewhere around here. So I've moved my stop to break even already. And right now, I want to see expansion higher if we're going to continue higher. I see all of this as low resistance liquidity. Good target. But I put my stop where? Break even? Is because price has already expanded higher. I don't really want it to go any lower at this point. And then on top of that, on the 5-minute right here, this RDRB is holding price. So this gap right here should be a breakaway gap. We should not see this gap visited anymore. Right? This is IOFED right here. Breakaway gap created. And so now we should see expansion higher away from this. If it's going to be a breakaway gap. Price should just pretty much fly here. This is also volume imbalance that we trade into. Forgot to mention that. And that's why you'll see the fair value gap gets digged into a tiny bit. You get that IOFED right here, institutional order flow entry drill, where it digs a tiny bit into it, does not meet the midpoint of that fair value gap, and then it starts going higher. The reason I took my entry down here is because, once again, stacked, or I don't know if it's called this, but I just call it stacked SMT divergence within a higher time frame PD array, which would be that hourly PD array. So once again, past these highs, I want to see acceleration. If we don't get that, then I'm not very comfortable in this trade. Very nice so far. So now with this displacement, I'm comfortable trailing my stop loss up to this low because this is supposed to be a breakaway gap, right? And so now if I even get stopped out now, I'm already 20 points. My stop loss is 20 points in profit, so I'm completely chilling. On top of that, we have the standard deviation that I was looking at earlier that I projected, right? -2, -2.5. We get that retracement silver bullet set up right here within this fair value gap turtle soup on top of that. And then from here, we're looking for that -3 to -4 standard deviations that line up perfectly with these equal highs. And that's what I'm looking for right now in my trade. Will I be joining Casper's stream later on? I feel like I want to, but the difficult part is that I'm live streaming right now, so I don't know if I can really join that. I might just have it on my secondary monitor and like I just listen in on it. So once again, paying attention, immediate order flow, right? So we were looking at this fair value gap, this balanced price range right here specifically. And so on the 1 minute, what happened, right? We're paying attention to that midpoint of the fair value gap, or we can even pay attention to the quadrants. What's going on? Well, we start getting body closures above that 50%, and now we displace through it. So I'm expecting this balanced price range, if we trade back into it, that's where I'm looking for specific PD arrays. So what is within this area? Well, I see there's a breaker block right here. And so this breaker block, if it returns, this should be high probability now. And in terms of the 15-minute chart, you can be looking for this inversion right here if you want. On 5-minute, I'm really paying attention to this final fair value gap. Once we invert this, then that just tells me it's clear traffic ahead, right? So we're just gonna push higher. Do you think the breaker block would be good entry to participate in this run? I think that this entry, for me personally, this entry has already kind of set sail. And the reason I say that is because if you're looking in terms of your entry leg, if we draw a premium to discount of this implied dealing range, so we can look at this high as our target, right? And draw a dealing range like that, we're already in the premium of this leg. And so if we get a return to that breaker, it's still in premium of this leg, so I wouldn't be looking for a long necessarily. At this point, I'm just managing my trade because we're already in premium. Yep. So now once again, this is a 5-minute fair value gap, so we can look at the 15-second as that's the lower time frame relative to the 5-minute. How we're responding to this gap right here. Displaced through it, are we finding support from it? If we are, then we're going to need to see some sort of displacement past this high right here. What I like about this 5-minute candle is there is no top wick, so we can see price trade back up to it. I took my entry from the hourly fair value gap. So this is an hourly fair value gap right here, right? Within this hourly fair value gap, we start getting SMT divergence with YM down here, right? This low with this low, that SMT divergence. So once we drop down to the 5-minute, we're getting stacked SMT divergence essentially. So on NQ, we took out this low, right? Then here we also took out that low. But once again, past this previous candle high, I want to see displacement higher. And this is my partial objective right here, this high. You're good, Snows. No worries. And so now I'm paying attention to this high, right? I want to see acceleration past that high if we're going higher. And then here's all that low resistance liquidity run. This is my partial target right here. You can tell who else is in today's group when you have the same entry. For real, bro. Like I was studying Turtle Soup before Day's mentorship for a while. And honestly, I found that SMT, it just equals Turtle Soup. And then joining Day's mentorship, it also like it gave me some new sauce, you know what I'm saying? So once again, I want to see acceleration here just because we're above this high. If we trade above these up close candles right here, it's been respected as a order block before, and so now I want to see it respected as a mitigation block. So here's what I'm looking at. Right, once we get above that, I want to see mitigation blocks. And then so any PD array that forms here is going to be higher probability. And then this is that 5-minute fair value gap right here. Right, 5-minute fair value gap. How are we respecting it? Is that we trade above it, and then we find support, and now we're getting higher prices. And so this is why I'm saying I want to see acceleration from this if we support. It's because now it's quote unquote clear traffic. There shouldn't be anything restricting price anymore at this point on the 5-minute. So now I'm paying attention to this fair value gap, immediate order flow, right? This fair value gap, paying attention to that. How to respect that? If we get some sort of closure below, I'm going to take a partial here. I'm just gonna quickly take a partial here.
Order filled.
I just don't like how it's looking within this fair value gap. I'm gonna still keep majority of my position in, but just make sure that I pay myself on the way. So I closed 5 contracts right there. Still holding 5 contracts right now, aiming for higher prices. It is looking pretty good so far though. The fact that we inverted all these fair value gaps, right? I'm gonna look. We're disrespecting all of these bearish fair value gaps. And now it's 9 a.m., which is when is the most high probability that you guys will find a setup. So this is where you guys would start hunting for your opportunities, in my opinion. My initial trade this morning, it was just kind of more of a, discretionary trade and using Q2 and Q3 rather than just Q3. Show where I did my projections from is this low right here on the 15-minute chart. Because this low is the SMT divergence low. 15-minute projection up higher into the equal highs. So right now I'm up about 33 points, 5 contracts. Stop is still at this low right here, which is 20 points in profit. Wait, is that 20 points in profit? I don't think so. Never mind, that's 12. Sorry, 12 points in profit. Just gonna delete these lines down here. We still have this 15-minute gap to invert. Once we invert that, then we're actually just most likely just gonna go higher. What's the indicator you use for quarterly plot? I use the day quarterly theory by 2 degrees. This one right here. Oh wait, it's not there. Oh wait, it's down here. Day quarterly theory right here by 2 degrees. So we also have a new week opening gap. So right now this is looking pretty good. New week opening gap right here, we're below it. So if we're able to trade above it, we can find support. And what makes this even better is that this up close candle is a breaker block, right? So if we get a displacement higher, then this breaker block is high probability because this is the time-based PD array layered with it. So that's something to look out for. Safe to say we started an H1 market maker buy model when we tapped into the daily fair value gap. We had H1 SMT after tapping the daily fair value gap. Yes, that is also something you can be looking at. There's a lot of different ways to form your analysis. And this would be that model that I presented on YouTube, right? Daily fair value gap. Then you would drop to your intermediate term time frame looking for SMT divergence, which we get on the lows right here, right? And so now we're looking for higher prices in terms of that. And that's why I was leaning bullish. On top of that, we have this SMT, and then we have a lower time for SMT. On top of that, we have another lower time frame SMT. So all of that is pointing up, right? Whereas what is institutional order flow pointing to right now? It's pointing up. I will do that right now, actually. Here, I'll double click it. It's AGFX watermark. Actually, I'll do this one. And then this is the settings I use if you want to copy it. Just kind of letting price do its thing here. Stay true to my analysis. Again, I'm already in profit, so that's why I'm not afraid of getting stopped out here. If you are in a later entry, then you'd have to withstand some drawdown here. This looks like a really clean market maker sell model, but once again, it comes down to context, right? So you have to be able to frame a market maker sell model. I guess this is a really good example, actually, where someone in live time right now could be like, oh, this is the sell side of the curve, right? But the question is, what are you framing this market maker sell model off of? There's no PD array really to like refer to. Oh, this stream will be on YouTube, Snows, because it's a free stream. Are there a lot of ads on my stream? I don't know how to fix that. Is it like really frequent? Because I think it does like automatic ad placement or something like that. In a market maker model, would you look for them if they hit higher time for PD? Yeah, so when framing market maker models, I'm looking for once again, my model is just 1 higher time frame PD array, 2 SMT divergence, and then that number 3 is that market maker model from that higher time frame PD array. Every video you block 3 or 4 ads. The fuck? I miss a lot of ads. Not a fan of this displacement lower, I'm gonna be honest. My last line of defense is this order block right here. And then if we trade below that, I'm stopped out. You're bullish, do you just mark out all higher time for PD raise and discount and look for the market maker model on the lower time frame? Is that simple? So you can just look in terms, like for example, if you're just using the model that I posted on YouTube, is like on your higher time frame, you're looking for either internal range or external range liquidity, right? So that would be fair value gap. Is price trading from a fair value gap right now, or is price trading from a liquidity level, which is a high or low? And so from there, you would be looking for market maker form from those specific levels. Is the 5-minute order block a good entry if 15-second entry with SMT and market structure shift? Yes, I would say that's valid. If you have SMT and market structure shift, yeah, I'm down for that. Then you're gonna have that ICT 2022 model on the 15-second. Excuse me. Looks like I'm about to get stopped out here though. I don't like this displacement. Coughing up the hairballs. Don't worry guys, I'm drawing lines on the lows. I'm drawing lines on the lows on my second monitor. It's gonna go up, trust. I'm drawing lines. I'll draw a line right here too. I'm gonna hold. The reason for my entry, I covered this earlier. You can just rewatch it, but the gist of it was just SMT on SMT on SMT essentially. So it's just like if you go to a higher time frame, you have SMT on the lows. I was really looking at the 15-minute SMT on the lows right here, and then you have SMT right here on the lows. Then now we have another SMT on the 5-minute, and then we had like a 15-second SMT as well. I'd like to see a market structure on the intermediate time frame to confirm a directional shift along with the market maker. Yes, that would be good actually if you did that. It just depends what you're trying to trade in the market maker model, right? It depends, because would you be looking to trade the low risk buy sell, or are you looking for accumulation or distribution phase to trade the silver bullet, for example? How do I avoid over cluttering my chart with higher time frame PD raise? I think that just comes with screen time, to be honest, because I used to like draw every single PD array, but now I just have like a blank chart and I can just visibly see, like, for example, right here, it's like, oh, we're obviously trading into a weekly fair value gap. So since that's the one we're trading into, I'll annotate it since I need to drop down to the lower time frame. And so from here, I'll just like, okay, looks like we're a market maker buy model from here. So let's look for some trade opportunities. And that's how I look at my PD arrays, is just I frame them. I just frame them once I see price trading into it. You follow Romeo at all? Guy's a straight sociopath, but compliments you really well. I don't follow him, to be honest. Like I don't know. Like I feel like sometimes I feel like he knows what he's doing. Like just like from his Twitter, it looks like he knows what he's doing. But I can't with his personality, so I just kind of separate myself. It's like you're gaining knowledge, but at what cost? When I was learning from Romeo. You study the market maker model intermediate term time frame. Do you always try to find the original consolidation percent targeting to, or do you just use their deviation? I will use whatever looks like the most obvious draw on liquidity, and then sometimes projections will aid me with that. If that makes sense. Yes, if bullish, buy below. If bearish, sell above the true open. You can look at true opens as support and resistance too, yes. Once again, paying attention to immediate order flow. I'm just looking at this balanced price range right now. We trade back above it, I'll be happy. If not, then see some choppier price action. True open is 7:30 a.m. for indices, or that's for New York AM session. The true open is just the opening price of Q2 of any cycle. That would be the true open. So it's like the day cycle is midnight because it's Q2 of the daily cycle is midnight, right? All right, NQ, you gotta go now. If you're going now. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, Clayton, is that if we're just holding here, then we're just probably gonna see choppier price action. So YM just create another SMT on the lows. Another one. Right here. So this low should be protected now if it's a SMT. Honestly, I'm kind of down to just close my trade here. Just, take a little more profit. Just taking too long. I don't really like it. Because normally when I'm in trades, I want to see quick expansion from my entry. Which we did get, but it's kind of stalling now. Does that make sense? It's like enter here, get expansion higher, but now we're stalling right here, which I don't like. So I'm very happy with the results of today. Up like 45 points on 10 contracts, so it's solid. All right, I'm closing here.
Order filled.
My entry was this turtle soup right here. Yes, I'm using a prop verb. I use Apex and Top Step. What software do I use to trade multiple accounts at the same time? So I use Rhythmic NinjaTrader 8, and then no, actually, Souls pump it. No, it's fine. I'm happy with today's results, right? How it goes sometimes. I use the software I use for trade copiers is it's called Replicanto. Like Flowbot's Replicanto, and use it on NinjaTrader. And then that's how I trade copy. And then on Tradeovate, you also have group trade option if you want to do that. How is this trade room open every day for subscribers? I go live on YouTube every Tuesday. And then other than that, I go live inside Discord or whenever there's high impact news. So I'm going live tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. See what Casper's up to. Join the stream real quick. Never mind, it's full.
What is it? What are you trying to stream it?
Oh wait, shoot, I'm unmuted. I'm so sorry about that.
No, you're fine. If one person could leave the stream so Ethan could stream it and then you can join back, that'd be awesome.
All right.
Probably gonna have to start doing these in the
perfect. I got it.
The stage.
Let me just start streaming this for you. Trading floor. Yeah, that was like the most disruptive I've ever been in my life. That was actually so rude of me. That's crazy. I didn't realize I was unmuted. I went in. I'm like, oh, never mind. It's full. Leaker. I'm leaking the goods. How do I like Casper's mentorship? I love it, bro. Smart Training Blueprint is like family now. I love it. It's what got me to the point of exponential growth. So it was that like final push in my journey, and then I started just exponentially growing from there. It's just the way he teaches, like the mind. It's not even like the concepts how he teaches, like the mind mentality of it. You know what I mean? And that's what like pushed me over the edge. So once again, we're paying attention to immediate order flow, right? And this is what I was saying is this balanced price range. Didn't like the reaction to it. Concept and strategy wise, it still is. It's the way he teaches it, I guess. It's how do I say it? It is ICT concepts, but the way it's like any different educator has a different method, right? So the way he teaches it is just he simplifies everything so that you just have a very easy, I guess, a really easy standard operating procedure to approaching the markets, right? And looking at the markets. And rather than teaching you a fixed mechanical thing, he teaches you how to look at different things subjectively, which is very valuable because, you know, he's basically teaching through his experience rather than teaching textbook knowledge. You know what I mean? He's teaching how to apply it rather than what it is. He still teaches what it is, but he teaches more so how to apply it, and that's way more valuable than knowing what it is. Because you can know what something is, but you don't know how to use it. Didn't do you live stream before New York Open? I live stream 15 minutes before any news event, essentially. So if there's 8:30 news, I'll start live streaming at 8:15. If there's news at like 9:30 or 9:45, 10 o'clock, then I'll start streaming at 9 o'clock. Now, I think starting next week, I'll have my face cam on too, so it's not as dull as staring at a screen, you know what I mean? Waiting for equities open in 2 minutes here. Looks good for the bull run so far. 9:30 and 30 seconds. I'm done trading for the day, but I'll just keep tape reading for you guys. If you guys have questions, I'll be here. Just ask away. Today was my first stream with you. I love how well and clear you explain things. Thanks for streaming free. Highly considering the mentorship and value. I appreciate that. Thank you. I have a question on external range liquidity, internal range liquidity. Say we're bullish and just swept daily high. Would you automatically start looking to short? We wait for price to come back down into internal range to seek longs. I want to say, we still have this SMT on the lows here, by the way. And if this 9:30 run is a Judas swing, potentially could go long. Not telling you to, but if it's part of your plan, you could potentially look for that. If this 9:30 is a Judas swing, and this low would be that invalidation. Will I open live trade on stream? Most likely not. It's just for my own mental, I guess. I'm not at the point where I'm comfortable like executing on screen and stuff like that yet. So I just tape read whenever I do enter a trade and stuff like that. So right here, that would be that turtle soup entry, right? I guess I would say, like, in terms of the higher time frame, internal and external range liquidity is just, it really comes down to higher time frame narrative once again. If you want to keep it bare bones and super simple, the second we take external range liquidity, what I'm waiting for is just some sort of SMT divergence to indicate that we are in a market maker sell model first. So if I usually external range liquidity, it's going to run past an external range liquidity a little bit before it creates that market maker model. And so in that aspect, you can wait until a new internal range liquidity has been created and then frame a market maker model into internal range liquidity. And once we're inside internal range liquidity, you can start framing another market maker model in the opposing direction to external range liquidity. And that's why I personally feel like internal range liquidity to external range liquidity, or fair value gap to liquidity, is an easier way to spot trades, at least for me personally. It's because you have a higher time frame PD array to frame your trade off of, rather than external range liquidity. You're just framing it off a high and a low. And especially at all-time highs right now, we don't have anything to frame it off of other than time and high and low, right? Or sorry, all-time highs, frame it off the high. And so in that sense, I would say just wait for a fair value gap. I think that's easier to spot those setups. External to internal range, I wouldn't say is the easiest. I know MMXM Trader says that it's the same thing and it's just whichever one you can spot easier, but I personally still think that internal to external is easier. It's just because you have a higher time frame PD array to frame trade off of, you know what I mean? I need to make my stream. Oh shit. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that is my bad. Yeah, right now we're kind of just chopping around, but once again, I'm still leaning bullish. I want to say like I'm a little afraid to give my bias on this, but I'm leaning bullish overall, so I'm gonna just, you know. What's my entry setup? I take discretionary entries, but I usually just enter on turtle soup now. That's my new entry. I love it. It's just turtle soup. Whenever you see SMT, I just enter on that. In the right context, of course. That's very important. In the right context. And this balance price, you're just putting in work. But like I said earlier, if we weren't able to close above this balance price range, we just expect some sort of choppiness, right? In terms of, I'm just looking at YMS like a massive SMT right now. I'm not gonna lie, because NQ is not willing to move right now. We do have these equal lows from that SMT earlier, but I kind of want to see these equal highs run out first. Once again, we are in between equal highs and equal lows, right? So something to be careful of. It's going down. Everybody get in. Just kidding. Don't get in. Not yet. I don't think. Really hard for my ego to not trade since I missed the move earlier. Yeah, you just gotta, sometimes you just gotta sit on your hands. You miss a move, you miss a move. Like I took the trade, right? But listen, it wasn't even like all that of a trade, you know what I mean? Like I'm looking for a trade, I took a quick scalp, and then now we're moving lower. So you know, sometimes it's like I could sit here and be like, oh my gosh, I should have shorted here, whatever. But you know, you just, sometimes it is what it is. You just gotta be happy. And that's the thing, you can make money even if you're wrong, and that's what I did, right? I made money even though I'm wrong. At the end of the day, is just about capitalizing and managing your trades very efficiently. Is there SMT with DXY? Not that I see. Yeah, not that I see here. Right now, right, once again, starting to look a little like DXY, I'm not gonna lie. Between equal highs, equal lows right here, right? So this is when it's supposedly more low probability, when you're between equal highs, equal lows. As of right now though, I would say, well, I don't want to be Captain Obvious, but I would say this these lows right here look pretty prominent. I look for long if unicorn presents. We'll have to see. Do we have SMT on the highs? Question mark. No, we don't. I don't see that. We have SMT right here on these highs. If you're looking at that, I might just let it do its thing. That is a massive candle. For the accumulation or distribution phases of the market maker model is hit SMT turtle soup as an entry trigger with no market structure required. So what I do is when a turtle soup is happening, I drop down to a lower time frame. So it's like on the 5-minute, if we have turtle soup, I drop down to 15-second. Yes, Dustin, I use quarterly theory. It is the framework of my trades. Like, this is a market maker sell model here, but as I was saying earlier, is that there's not much to really frame off of on the higher time frame, and we are in between equal highs, equal lows, right? Yeah, I don't really see anything. It kind of just plummeted. Gotta run out these lows. There's specific PD array you look for on the 15-second turtle soup and drilling down. Yeah, so I just look for a balanced price range, market structure shift, or inversion for value gap, and I just enter on that. Yeah, I'd be careful here. It's just kinda interesting. I'd probably just be, if I were looking for a trade right now, I'd be like sitting on my hands right now. This is just too, you know, equal highs, equal lows in between, low probability. At least for my model is low probability. If you have a model that allows you to trade this, then go for it. When something like this happens, do you consider the market maker buy model invalidated, or could this be a late reaccumulation? So right now, like in a market maker model, it's like you don't want to see this happen, is this kind of displacement, right? So a great example would be, I think it was last week, was it? So this was the week of February 13th. So I was annotating this live for the stream, and I was saying how once we took this high, right, I was expecting all-time highs right here, right? But then we had this massive displacement on Friday, and so we also had SMT divergence on these highs with ES. Okay, so then from here I'm looking at this range now, and I want to pay attention. So since we're looking at this range, this implied dealing range, is we displaced past that 50% level, past this internal range. So I saw that as a valid market structure shift, and from here I was looking for lower prices into this low. So we got that market structure SMT divergence on these lows. And so from that, then we targeted all-time highs from there. So it's just like when you're in a market maker model, you don't want to see displacement like this, like going against you. So in terms of this 5-minute market maker buy model right now that I'm looking at, it's been invalidated essentially because we displaced through the higher time frame PDA array that we are paying attention to. And so now we can look at this as the new implied dealing range, essentially. Right, this would be a smaller range. Once again, I just set up my hands right now. I wait for that 10 a.m. news and then see what happens if we get some sort of setup. Although I probably won't be with you guys. Like I would start like I'd say like maybe 10:20 to 10:40. That macro 10:20 to 10:40. You can look for some sort of trade possibly. Oh wait, sorry, if I remember, it's 10:30 to 10:45. Sorry, that's the macro. If I remember correctly. Let me just check my notes really quick, just to double check. Yeah, 10:30 to 10:45. Right now, we still are holding this SMT divergence on the low, so that's on a bigger scale though, right? With the SMT, I'm just waiting for it to be invalidated, to be honest. Right now, it obviously looks very bearish, so it's like I'm not too keen on longing this. I'm gonna be honest. This displacement's very telling, right? And then we also have a mini SMT on these highs right here, so that's something to pay attention to. Nothing I would push a button on right now. That's valid, Clayton. So looking at this hourly fair value gap, once we inverted that, we can look at it as resistance now, right? Because we found support. Now, if we trade back into it, resistance. Can you explain the turtle soup? So the turtle soup is essentially just liquidity sweep, and how I look at it is SMT equals turtle soup, and that's just how I look at it. That's fine. You're still learning, Elijah. Man, I need to get some trading friends up in here. Talk about. Honestly, not even like it would be kind of sick if I had like some sort of podcast like while the trade's going on. That'd be pretty cool. Let's start playing some Brawlhalla right now. So right now what I'm looking at, to be honest, is this 5-minute unicorn model. And you have a clear drawn liquidity down here. So that could be a potential sell. Just want to see how price reacts to it. Are you looking for a model in lower time frames if you see SMT? Yes, that's what I'm doing. So if there's turtle soup, then I go to the lower time frame to look for a model. Well, not really a model, it's just entry. It's just balance price range, market structure shift, inversion, fair value gap on the lower time frame within turtle soup. Then I just pull the trigger. You journal look for SMT or turtle soup in higher time frame. So if I'm trading 5-minute, I'd be looking for 60-minute SMT. Yeah, you could do that. That's very valid. And then if you get that SMT on the hourly, then you drop down to 5-minute. That would end up being your turtle soup entry on the hourly chart. Because price is fractal, right? Then pay attention to this area right here, because this could become a breakaway gap. Why is it breakaway gap? Because you have this breaker, then you also have this fair value gap. So if this pushes price lower, that could be an IOFAD. If we trade into the unicorn, then we can be looking at the midpoint of this fair value gap should not get returned to if it's a breakaway gap. Oh, the music stopped. I just realized. What to listen to? Let's listen to some jazz. Down. We dropped right to midnight price and this week's new week opening gap. I remember that. Yeah, we have a new week opening gap right here. On the 15-minute, you can look at this as a right here, right? This new week opening gap with this fair value gap. Regular trading hours gap, I don't really look at that, to be honest. You explain it IOFED. So institutional overflow entry drill is essentially when price trades into a fair value gap, but not to the middle point of that fair value gap, essentially. That's what it is. That would IOFED, and you get like a massive displacement away. So right now we're trading into that unicorn model, so I'm paying attention to our time frame. So how are we reacting to it? Are we getting some sort of bearish reaction? So this is how I would gauge the unicorn model. Just with any other entry technique, this is how I would gauge it. And so right now we're not really respecting it, right? Not something we want to see. Yeah, but if it's part of your plan, go for it. Honestly, like even if you make a mistake, what's the worst thing that can happen? You know what I mean? Trading paper trading, you're trading eval, trading funded account, what's the worst thing that can happen? Right? It's, you know what I mean? And if you go for your trade, right? I'm not telling you guys to push buttons, but if it follows your plan, you push the button, let's say you get stopped out. What's the worst thing that can happen is that you journal it, you reflect on it, and you become better for next time. It's really nothing worse than that can happen unless you're over leveraging, blowing a personal account. You know what I mean? Like that would be bad because now you're just kind of gambling. But if you're being responsible with it, worst thing that's gonna happen, you lose what? 1%, 0.5%. Entered long on the tip since we entered distribution stage on weekly according to quarterly theory, so my bias is long this week. On the tip where? Like on the bottom here? Now that we inverted this, I'm not really interested in this unicorn anymore. Damn, that's crazy. You caught this trade. Nice. So in terms of the weekly quarters, I'd be saying if our bias is bullish, then I'm looking for manipulation on the lows. And in this case, we have this SMT right here, right? So it's manipulation substitute if we are bullish. Yeah, but once again, you zoom out if it's unclear and you can already see, right? And this is what we're trading inside right now. Oh, that actually looks solid. I didn't even see the previous candle closures, like perfect on that fair value gap. Oh, that was like a minute ago. That's why I didn't see it. Hmm. It looks extremely bullish right now. What the hell? What happened? Oh shit, it's 10 a.m. I should have been paying attention to that. I didn't even realize. I'm just vibing right now, I guess. I don't know. And I'm tired. So right now, if you trade YM, this would be that turtle suit as of right now. Pretty interesting. Actually, I wouldn't say interesting. I'd say more pretty boring PA on Nasdaq. Opinion. No, range bound. So, see that this is time-based liquidity right here. As low as time-based, as high as time-based. So whichever way we manipulate, now we're getting SMT on those. Right. That's the main reason why I was leaning bullish, because of that. But once again, with the price playing the way it is now, I just sit on my hands. I'm already up a trade, right? So let me just calculate really quickly how many points I caught earlier. 30 plus 14 or something. So 40, 44. I'm up 2.9 R today. It's not bad. How long did it take me to develop my trading plan and have confidence in it? It took me like 6 months to find consistency, and then profitability is a different story, I would say. Because was like, that's when the mental game started kicking in. That took longer for sure. So having a trading plan, having confidence in it, I'd say 6 months probably. And then to actually develop the mental edge in it took me like a year and a half. So this is something you guys can pay attention to, right? Is once again that immediate order flow. So how are we reacting to immediate order? Looks pretty bullish here. I love waiting. My favorite part of trading. Who's having fun? I still think the draw on liquidity is higher. I honestly, I don't want to make any calls. I'm nervous, bro. We're in between the equal highs and lows. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm leaning bullish, but I can see bearish. 15-minute unicorn right now. There's really no displacement away from it, so not too. So with 10:30 approaching, you can start hunting for your opportunities. Right here, I don't really see anything setting up though. I hear emails coming in, but I don't see them. I am here, yeah. I'm just kind of watching price right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask it. Nothing really much for me to talk about right now. If price is bullish, then I want displacement above these highs essentially, because you know we're pretty much there already. That would just be. What's been your favorite courses you've gone through, free or paid? All the courses I've gone through are paid, but I'd say MXM traders. Actually, I just say all my mentors have done is so. That would be Trader Day. That'd be MXM Trader. Asper. Of course, ICT himself. I honestly really enjoyed ICT's content. I guess it's different for different people, but for me personally, like I really enjoyed like just going through all his videos. Can't find this in Discord. What do you mean by that? Yeah, ICT 2022 mentorship was amazing. Why is this playing? Whose birthday is it? Oh damn, this song goes on for like an hour and a half. What the? All right, let's see what this is. I'm live on YouTube right now. MH, not Discord. So this push, I would expect some sort of low resistance liquidity run above these highs. So that means we quickly get displacement highs if it's going for it. I'm pretty much about to hop off here, to be honest. Um, I got my trade in, and I feel like nothing super interesting. Like overall, my higher time frame, I'm leaning bullish for these equal highs, and then once we take these equal highs, we could potentially be looking for these equal lows. Pretty much what my game plan is right now. Um, but once again, because I already took a win today, I can't take any more trades. So even if it kept going, I can't even take a trade. And that's just my rules, right? And I have to follow my rules. Of course, got you guys. I hope this was I hope these streams are helpful. Um, you know, just kind of giving you my thought process on the market.